What it do, gang? It's your little homie, Warren G-Body. And I'm still up in the rock shop. Welcome back, gang. Welcome back to the Rock Shop Garage and another edition of Rock Shop Chronicles as we push forward to getting one of these amazing old schools back in traffic, gang. This will be part 5 of the Ron Francis wiring harness install. And let me just jump right into it, gang. After work, I finished up on the fuse panel. This part is still under construction over here, but the fuse panel itself is all the way in. Yeah, and you can see I already got a couple of wires ran. Yeah, so we got the fuse panel. She is in there. Sorry about that. She is in there like swimwear, and we got the first 2 wires ran. Now, these are just temporary, gang, and what I mean by that is these are the neutral safety wires, and I'm pulling them up right now. See, and they're already terminated, so I don't want to cut these short yet until I figure out exactly where this is going to go. So this is going to have to come all the way around, and then boom, it's going to land over here. So I got to find all of that. So I just left them long, and what I'm probably going to do is cut these wires and then just join them together. Basically, what neutral safety is, gang, is it lets the electronics know, hey, he's not in park, don't start. So let's say if you got it in reverse or any gear where you're going to be moving, if the neutral safety isn't working correctly, you start the car, it takes off. So neutral safety is just a way to cut the power off so that it doesn't let it continue on with its starting cycle. You know what I mean? So, but in order to get this started up, if I don't have it hooked up to the neutral safety, I'm just going to join these 2 wires together, and I want to leave a nice long length. So I'm probably just going to cut these way up here and then just join them together. That way I still have all of this length to make it wherever it needs, you know, however I want to route it cleanly to get all the way over here. So I don't want to do all that right now. But yeah, so we're looking good there, gang. What I'm going to be doing today before work, I'm going to be mounting these guys right here. And then this is my Friday, so I'll be, you know, tomorrow. Today is Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday and Thursday. I'll be hot and heavy on this. And then we'll be jumping into the next bag. What we got going over here is I still need to do some trimming out, but everything else is in. We need to get this off and start cleaning all this area up. All this area needs to get cleaned up. That way I can start laying the kitty hair down and, you know, getting the plate set up and ready to go. And then, yeah, we can start running wires. I just wanted to see something come out right quick, and that's it. So these 2 wires are going to be going that way, down towards the starter area. So this one's actually going to the starter. The purple wire will come out this way. And then everything from the top is going to go this way. So headlight switch, all that type of stuff, once we get into that bag. So I think the next bag I'm going to get into is this one right here. And this is the bag F. Yeah, headlight switch, lights, tail lights, and all of that stuff. So that's probably the bag I'm going to go with next. But yeah, gang, just wanted to give you a quick intro on what we're working on and how it's coming along. So I'm hoping to have the whole wiring thing done in this video. You can see I also got the, this is what goes up to the steering column. So I'm leaving everything long right now until we actually get all the other players in place. And then I can, you know, route it to it and then run it all the way down right where it needs to go. Terminate the end and connect it into the fuse panel. But all right, gang, I'm gonna fade you out and we're gonna get to work installing these 2 panels right here. One's gonna be for constant, the other one's gonna be for switched off the Ron Francis panel, and those 2 are gonna live right there in that area. All right, y'all, let me get to it and I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Yes, sir. And we back in, gang. All right, y'all, so late start, but better late than never. And we out here, we got the panel back out. I decided to go about it like this, get it all wired up and then roll all the wiring up and then slide the panel on. You feel me? And then I can run everything else. So also, gang, you know, these videos I put up, they're vlogs. They're not how-tos, just what I'm on for the day. You feel me? But yeah, gang, so let me get after it. Looks like the second bag. The first bag was the ignition wires and all that stuff. Let me tell y'all, man, you gotta want this, because this stuff it's not hard, gang. Wiring and going through the OEM wiring setup, yeah, that's a pain in the butt, because you got to get the Shilton's manual. I don't own a Shilton's manual for any of this, because nothing in here is original. This car is all brand new. This is all brand new. The only thing original is the body and the frame. Everything else, wiring, lights, everything is new. So you feel me? I have to hold on to the manuals for the parts that it came with. But yeah, but if I was trying to wire this stuff up with a factory OEM, oh no, yeah, I'm not with it. But yeah, so let me we already had fit a couple of wires up in there. And something I forgot about, gang, is this panel my club bro did was mounted upside down, so you have to like turn your head to see what each one was. And I based the first wire I cut, I based it off of it being upside down, like, oh yeah, that's over in the corner. Well, mine is flipped up the right way, so you can read it straight on, you feel me, left to right. And I was like, oh. So luckily I was able to route it in such a way. It's the wire that runs off the panel over to this panel for switch power, 12-volt switch power. So as I'm turning the key, the power doesn't drop out, it stays on. Yeah, because I had already prettied the wire up and all of that stuff. So yeah, you got to keep that in mind. So anybody that does this for a living, shit, salute to you, sir and sirs. But yeah, let me get back to it. We're going to get this box over there, and we're going to start, doing all that stuff. This is the first set of wires right here that I actually did, and this is for the ignition. This goes to the steering column. But I got to leave everything long until I get the panel in, I get the steering column back in, plug it in, and then route the wires down to where they would need to go. So I'm going to leave everything long until we get everything in its home. All right, y'all, fading it out. Fading back in right quick, gang. All right, so we are populating one wire at a time. Remember, this is the bag E, turn signal and brake light switch and horn switch setup. So this is going to go to the column, and then there's another piece that connects into this. I don't think this one, you have to depin and repin the stock column, because I don't think the other connector that's on the column, I don't think it's going to connect into this. Yeah, so they supply you with that other piece just in case. Or you might be able to modify the other piece a little bit, and this is the piece that I'm talking about. So this is the part that's on the column, and it has all the wires and everything that are gonna click in with the other side. And I believe this also has the alphabets. Yeah, it does. But yeah, so I'm just gonna depin and repin everything in here, and that's why in the instructions they tell you that's if you have the stock set up. So if on your column, even if you get the column rebuilt, they try and keep the colors the same. So like right here, it says our wire color is blue. The GM 1980 whatever and up, it's going to be dark blue. You see what I mean? And then GM is going to be dark blue. So it's telling you what wire on their side matches up with the wire on the kit side. Yeah, and then it'll tell you J and so forth and so on. So they really try to make this as idiot-proof as possible. You just got to follow the instructions, and that is the tedious part. We just want to click, click, click. But that's what we're getting to. Once we're done doing all the tedious work, then we'll be able to click it in. So what's going on is I'm just doing one wire at a time, and on this side, I don't know if you can see it, right along this bottom here where my finger is, there are all the alphabets right there. And so what I'm doing is I'm just doing one wire at a time, and once I do the wire, I check it. Check. So I just did the green wire. Now in one of the other bags, gang, we have this purple wire right here. And it said, hold on to this wire because it will come later. And now it's the later time. Now that I've got to the green one, which is the last one I just did, now see, there goes that purple wire from bag 1. And that's it. So now we're gonna move into that one. Once I get all these done and with the checks, then I'll go through and I'll double check everything. I'll tug on them to make sure that they're in there correctly. And once I'm done with that on each wire, then I'll check off over here, J, N, M, all of that to let me know I've already gone through. I've done all my checks. You know, you want to make sure that it's seated in there correctly. Now, if you look here, see how it has, what the hell? That damn wasp is up in here. But yeah, we see we got these little tangs and all this stuff on here. It needs to go down inside this piece a certain way. This is the side that plugs in, and then this is where the wires come through. But if you try to put it in backwards, it won't let you force it in. You feel me? Don't try to force it in if you get this kit. See those little grooves? Little groove on the top, little groove on the bottom. And then see this channel right here? Right there is where the back of this rests. And then this little tang, oh my bad gang, this little tang right here pops up, not this one. This one kind of slides down the channel to keep it, you know, straight. This is the one that once you push it all the way in, it'll go click, it goes past the flat spot and it won't allow it to push back out when you go to plug the other connector in, the other side, the female side, or the male side. Once you go to connect that side in with the spades, the slide in between right here, it won't allow it to push out. So I'm going to have to flare that out. Man, and dealing with this stuff, man, your fingertips and everything be getting jacked up. So, but there it is, gang. Let me get to it, and I'll bring you guys back in when we're done. All right, gang, so we got it done. We got that part done. So now what's going to happen is I'm gonna start looming this up. I got me a brand new bag of loom. I was going to wait for my Alex Tech, but anywhere it's not visible, I'm just going to use this. Plus, it's harder, you feel me? So wherever it's not visible, we're going to use it. But anything that's visible, like in the engine bay, that type of stuff, you know, I like to use the Alex Tech because it goes along with the harness. These pieces in here will probably get changed up. But you see what I mean? Anywhere where it's viewable, I just wanted to get an idea of how all of it looked. That way it matches with what the Holly Terminator stuff is. But anywhere not viewable, we're going to use this. We got 3-4 boxes of it. And like I said before, gang, I like to keep, you know, stuff, supplies, because you never know what your boy going to be working on. But let me get to it. Now, again, with this setup, this situation, I'm not going to be able to connect any of this into the panel until I get the steering and everything mounted. This is why they give you all this long line. So what I'm going to do is I'll just drape it over where I think it's going to go and kind of get an idea where it goes. So we're left with just a few more connections that need to be connected. Some of those connections are in this. You feel me? Some of them are in this. And so I'll have to revisit the old bags to break out the instructions to find out what goes where. The wires tell you as well. So what I'm about to do now is I've got all my checks. I didn't check the pink one yet. So we got all the checks that we've double checked that. Then when we're done, we're going to come back through and we're going to do a tug test on each one to make sure. And as I do the tug test and verify that the blue is in the J, then I'll go ahead and, you know, check it off. So forth and so on until we get to the end. Just trying to be as thorough as possible. And then the final check, gang, is to check it against what I have running already. This has been verified, so I'll have to climb up underneath there and make sure that everything's in the right spot. I've already done that with the SS, and the SS looks exactly like this as far as the colors and the alphabets lining up. So once you've done it, it's the same kit. You know, you get used to it and you come up with a way of doing it. So there it is, gang. Let me get back to it. And I ain't going to bore you anymore. We're going to get a lot done, and then I'll bring you guys back in. And we back in, gang. All right, y'all. So we looking good. Okay. So this is what we got going on. The ones that aren't populated, these are off the headlight switch and stuff like that. So all the bags that I have here that are left are stuff that'll come once this is mounted, and then I can run stuff up to it and out. We also got wires over here looking good. Just a lot of stuff. Lots and lots and lots of stuff coming. We're gonna get that loomed up in a minute. I want to get all the wires through first. You feel me? Before I start tucking stuff in. Well, I guess I could. I gotta find some white wire for the reverse lights. We got to get that going. What else? I think I might run the fuel pump wire through this side as well. No, I'm gonna run it on that side because power's over there, and then the Terminator X Max will be up here. But yeah, so that's what we're doing now, gang. We're trying to get all the wires. I got to go towards the back, everything that's coming out towards the front. Yeah, you see I got stuff draped that way, stuff draped this way, stuff draped this way. See what I mean? So yeah, we're trying to get it together and stay as organized as possible. You feel me? And then we'll start looming everything up once we get the bulk of the wires that we want done. I got to get a fan. Yeah, I got to get that one. So I need to go get some red wire, get that fan going, some red and black wire. But yeah, gang, there it is. Let me fade it back out, get this panel mounted, and continue on with the wiring. Yes, sir. And we back in with the Detox Boo Rewire, gang. All right, so cleaned it up. Sprayed a little black, little gloss black in there because I might do some kill matte. If I don't, no big deal. But usually when I do the sound dampening, I like to spray something real shiny and slick. So I scuff it up real good. I just use the green Scotch Brite, clean it with acetone, and then sprayed it with that. And it's kind of like a magnet to me when you peel the kill matte or fat matte or whatever you go with. When you peel it back, once that glue, that adhesive hits that slick surface, man, it's this stuff right here. When I did this back in 2012, the shop that put the roll bar in, they was like, dude, what the hell? We couldn't get that out. We had to burn it out. There it is. That let me know. But yeah, gang, if I don't do anything, that just looks a lot cleaner, you know, and the wires will disappear on up in there. The carpet's gonna be black. You feel me? So, but there it is. Yeah, looking good, looking good. I'm gonna do a little cleanup in here, gang, because it's getting wild. And we are ready to put that panel back in as soon as everything dries up in there. And actually, I should have did that first while I was doing all the wiring, because it would be dry now. It's a process. But there it is, gang. We're gonna fade it out, and I'll fade you guys back in. Little cleanup in here, and hopefully it'll be dry to where I can just put a couple of coats where I can start running the wires and getting everything in. All right, y'all, fading it out. All right, fading in, gang. I kind of threw some black paint on there and just had a little piece. See how that'll look. Yeah. I also mounted the panel, so we gotta pull this slack out. Drilled a couple of holes down here. You feel me? Looking good. And we got everything separated. So we got our this is the horn and wiper. Of course, I don't need a wiper, so we're gonna pull this one back through, cap it off. I got the left turn signal and left city light, and then I got the right turn signal, or high beam, low beam, and then we got the right turn signal and city lamp for that side over there. Looking good. All these wires still need to be cut short. This is all stuff that needs to be pulled out, and we started running the wires all towards the back. All of this in here needs to be shortened, and I put the panel up in there right quick just to kind of see. Got this all painted out. We're gonna put some kill mat up in here and kind of just draping wires where they need to go to get a general idea. But yeah, I can't do any of this until I get the panel mounted back. Then I'll run each wire how I want it, real clean, cut them, terminate them, and stab them on in. But yeah, gang, so we getting there. We got a little ways to go. But at least now I can start seeing things coming together. You feel me? But yeah, I'll fade it out. And on the next fade in, we should have some more stuff loomed up and the kill mat done. And the panel should be mounted in the firewall. All right, y'all. And we right back in. Man, I'm trying to keep these vids short, gang. So we about to get in on this kill mat. I've had this box for a long time. Yeah, plenty to get up in here. You see, it was originally done in Fat Mat back, shit, like 12, 13 years ago, gang. But we got plenty of kill mat now. So I think I am just gonna lay a few pieces, get it all the way up the firewall, poke those holes out, and then we'll put our pieces back in. So let me get to it, and I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna take a quick little break. Whew. Your boy out of shape. All right, so see this? Heavy. Look at see that's neuroed. I've watched so many of my homies' videos. See how this looks? See those little cubes? Those cubes are there for a reason. They're installation cubes. They let you know if you've installed this correctly. See how that looks? There are no cubes left. If you go and you pull your carpet back and your shit look like that, it's going to peel. It might not peel today, might not peel in a month, but it will eventually start peeling up. This was done in 2013, 2014. It's still here. Still here. You feel me? So, with that said, don't cheap out and get that little whack-ass plastic one. That shit. Don't get that. I just pulled it out for the purpose of this video. You want to get the heavy. This got some weight to it. I could actually knock a motherfucker out with this. So, you get it's just a couple of dollars more. It's heavy duty. You feel me? Yeah. So, if you don't want to put the work in, take it to a shop. Because it ain't gonna come out right. You feel me? But anyway, gang, we moving and grooving. I gotta get this side done, and then we'll be done with the kill mat. And we already got these tied in. That looks good. You feel me? Over in the corners where the Terminator X Max is gonna be over there. I'm hoping I can get it over there. I don't want to do under the seat and run all the wires up like I did on the Elco. We'll probably put it over there or somewhere, maybe on the firewall. I might run AC in this. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, gang, get the Goodwill. Don't get that little cheap plastic one they send you for free. All right? All right. And we back in. Okay. We got that part done. I got this piece. I got two of them, man. It's meant for the Terminator X Max mount. And I've had this for a little bit. And I swear to God, gang, I cannot figure them out. I'm just overthinking it. You feel me? You get used to doing things a certain way. And then when you get something that's new that mounts, it does the same thing but mounts a different way. You won't let go of the old way of doing it. And I just can't understand how this is going to hold the Terminator X Max. Now, looking at it, you're going to say, well, you just put the Terminator X Max down. This dampens it, and then that screws in, right? That's what I thought. But look, so Terminator X, so these slide in, right? The Terminator X goes on top of it, and then you screw these into that part. Well, then these are they just come right out. So I'm like, what's gonna secure it? It's just gonna fall right the hell out. Then I thought, well, maybe when these tighten up, it flares out, and then it creates a seal so these won't pop out. Then I was like, well, maybe I got to go from the bottom. But no, that didn't work either. So I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look at the video. And like I said, maybe I'm just overthinking this. But this dampens. This gets mounted. You see the holes right there. Then this dampens the Terminator X Max. And then it screws in. But these just pop out. So I'm like, it's just going to come flying off. I don't know. But anyway, gang, I got a couple of them. One for this project and one for my SS. And I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. Which is why I want that out the way. Because I really want to put it, you know, somewhere down here. Like that. I could mount it up here. But if I go with an air conditioning unit, you see what I mean? Then that's going to create a problem. See how they just fell out? That would be the Terminator X falling out right now. Right then is when it would have fallen out. So I don't know how the hell this thing works. But another spot could be up here. But see, that's gonna fall out. So maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. But anyway, gang, we got the kill mat done. That's cool. And so what I'm gonna work on now is getting that panel back in its home with the wires going out. Let me get out of here. So the next thing I gotta do, gang, is we gotta get this panel. Remember, I just painted this up black to see how it would look, and I'm loving how that looks with this right here. So this will be going off that way, that'll be going off that way, and of course all of this extra will be tight. Yeah. So we'll get this all smoothed in. But yeah, so I'm gonna take this panel off, start pulling all the wires through, and then we'll start working on this panel and getting that going. I gotta do a little bit more notching right in this area. Gotta get that going. Yes, sir, we gotta get that notched out a little bit more, and then we can start with that part of it. But there it is, gang. I think I'm gonna call this the end of the vid. I was really hoping to have everything all mounted up, but vid's drug on too long. We're gonna go into another part, but you see what it is, gang. We got everything is pretty much where it needs to be. Now I can start trimming and shortening all the wires. We got a lot of stuff done in this vid. A lot of stuff done. But yeah, gang, thanks for riding with your little homie. Warren G Body up in the rock shop, repping 80s, and most definitely keeping it Chevy.